Well, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Rupa and I are super excited because first off, Cal State San Bernardino is probably our most visited university because our main office is in San Bernardino. So we're really excited to share quite a few different opportunities with you today and tell you a little bit more about the organization and what we're doing and how today you're going to have the ability to become a part of a team that will change the odds for kids. Once again, my name's Doug. I'm the regional recruiter. Been with the organization for a little over 10 years now. Started off as just like that young lady at the table right there, working with kids in the classroom and making a difference at that first level with the organization, and how impactful the organization has been for me and not only the students that I served. And then I have Rupa. She's my partner, and she's gonna introduce herself real quick.
Hello, I'm Rupa Patel. I'm the Employment Branding Manager. Like Doug mentioned, we are super excited to be here because we've always had a very strong partnership with Cal State San Bernardino, but it's mostly due to the fact of having very quality professional students that attend there. So anytime we have an opportunity to promote within their campus, we will jump at that chance because everyone we've hired from this school has been exceptional and they've continued to move up the ranks. So we're excited to be here. I have been with the organization for 12 years. I'm hitting my 12-year anniversary next week. Time flies very quickly with this organization. I started off as a site coordinator, so I was able to work at the program level, working directly with youth and making an impact on the families and the students that attend the school where I oversaw the program. I did that for 5 years, and then I moved into the manager of volunteers position for San Bernardino County, which allowed me to build wonderful partnerships within the region and get individuals involved with Think Together, not only as volunteers, but as employees. And then I switched into the employment branding manager role a little over 2.5 years ago, where I work with the different regions within the organization to be able to really promote and brand our employment opportunities. So that's a little bit about my background. I will send it back over to Douglas.
Can you flip the page, please?
I can. So a little bit about Think Together. We're about 25 years old. A little bit about our history. We started, it was unfortunately as a result of some gang violence going on in a small neighborhood in Costa Mesa. The parents and the community members just got fed up with the violence and they wanted students to have a very safe place to go after school. So with a group of volunteers, what a few of them did was rent out an apartment complex where it gave kids the opportunity to drop in, get support with their homework, have some adult role models that can help them through their academics. It was the basics that we can be able to provide at that time. And back in 2006 or 7, when Schwarzenegger was our governor, who was a huge advocate of after-school programming, he passed the No Child Left Behind Act, also known as the Prop 49 Act. With that, we were able to really open up the doors and intentionally partner with school districts to provide not only a safe place for kids to go after school, but be that intentional academic support that a lot of these kids need to help them be successful in college and career once they're ready to move forward. So since then, we have continued to grow. I started back in 2007 when pretty much overnight, we went from having just a couple of learning centers to opening up 100+ school sites. And since then, we've grown to all over the state. We have a regional office all the way up in the Bay Area that works with 3 different school districts up there. And we range all the way down to San Bernardino County. And we just acquired our newest partnership with the Palm Springs Unified School District. So we're gonna be opening up a whole brand new region, which Doug will go into a little bit more detail in a couple of slides, but we're very excited about that potential opportunity. So yeah, like I said, we've continued to expand. We impact the lives of over 200,000 youth on a daily basis at over 400 locations throughout the state, partnering with 50+ school districts. And we hire and onboard more than 2,500 employees who are the frontline staff that are working directly with the youth to really make a big impact on their lives. So I'm going to hand it over to Doug, who's going to go into a little bit more detail about our program structure.
Thanks, Rupa. So essentially, we have two essential structures that we use for our core program here with Think Together. Our first one is an elementary program design. And so what this is, we have 5 main spotlights that we target when we're aligning with the school day and, look at these core standards and giving these students the extended learning time they need. So we cover ELA literacy, math, STEM, youth development, and art and enrichment. And so our secondary primary one would be our middle school programs. And so kind of the same, but as you get the middle school, students get a little bit older, they're those older youth. So things change. We're focusing on the academic, which is more of an umbrella of ELA and math, and we have our community, STEM, youth development. So really working on those, adult skills of communication, how do we handle conflict, things like that. And of course, art and enrichment. And what's also nice to touch base on the programs, that we do have a high school program, which is not on our slide here, but we partner with probably, I see close to 8 different high schools across the state of California, and we have a program with that. So if that's something you're interested in, we can talk about that a little bit more too, as we get to the Q&A portion. So joining our team, we are, today we are excited to be able to speak with everyone here in this group, but also have, we're employing 2,500, frontline staff statewide. These are the workers, these are the people who are making the greatest impact in their community and at their schools, and helping parents and changing the odds for these students each day of the week. And we do it year round, even though we might not be in school. We're supporting by providing lesson plan writing and doing these things that are going to make that next school year that much better. So today we're going to really explore some of the different ways that you can become a part of this team. I'm seeing everybody on our chat bar talk about what their majors are. I think Rupa and I will go into it. If you're passionate about your community, if you're passionate, if you want to work with kids, I'm not saying we have to be a teacher or have to be, a counselor. I wanted to be neither of those. And I know I'm passionate about my community and wanting to give back. And so any career field or any major that you're maybe graduated, you can apply that to this, which is just really important. So what we're looking for, so our big opportunity like Rupa talked about, we're in Palm Springs. And so we have, our program leader role, which is our part-time position, which we'll go into more detail. We have our site coordinator role. And so you're gonna hear Rupa and I talk about this quite a few times today, about our site coordinator role. And then we have our regional office staff. And so what that kind of entails is like a receptionist, couple of our human resources positions, our generalist role. We might have a couple of data roles available, doing analyst work. But yeah, we have some very exciting positions, not only in Palm Springs, but also San Bernardino. But today, just to kind of give a shout out, we are going to be having site coordinator interviews for Palm Springs today. So I'm going to give you a link, and we're going to add it to the chat bar for each of these positions. And it's going to say San Bernardino program leader, Palm Springs program leader, and Palm Springs site coordinator. And then, of course, to give you the website to where you can check out all the positions we have statewide. But those are the big 3 that we love to. We'll talk to you right after this call today, or whenever the job fairs are. We are excited for the chance to get to meet you. So our first one, program leader. So our program leader works, you're working directly with students. You're with a class of 20 to 25 of them. You're implementing lesson plans, doing homework assistance. For this role, we're essentially looking for that positive adult role model. We're looking for someone who could be a coach, a mentor, modeling those right adult behaviors and giving students a platform to grow off of. And so it's the most important role in the organization. It is the entry level, starting off square one, but you make the biggest impact. And from there, we have nothing but growth opportunities with the organization if you decide you would like to stay. like we talked about, it could move all the way up to, I think we had a program leader that started with us about 15 years ago, and now they're a general manager of a whole region. Like, that's impressive. I mean, that's this work and dedication and to what we're doing, and that passion. For a program leader, you must have a genuine interest in the growth and development and provision of safe and nurturing environment. So we need someone, you genuinely have to care. If you do not want to work with kids, we're not saying you have to have experience, but if you don't want to work, this might not be for you. But if you're interested in it and you want to learn more about it, I'm going to provide the links to our chat bar right now, and it's really easy. You can click it, save it on your window, your computer window, and you can apply through a phone or a laptop pretty easily. Rupa, do you have anything else to add about the program leader role while I add these to the chat?
Yeah, like Doug mentioned, this is a great opportunity, especially for people that want to get their feet wet in the education world. A lot of people will be kind of step backish about applying for this position because they don't necessarily have direct experience working with kids. And we tell them that's okay. For us, we're looking for that personality fit. We've had people come to us with an immense amount of experience, but if they don't have the right personality, they're not going to excel in this role. I'd prefer people that maybe not have the experience working with kids, but have that passion and that drive to learn new things. What Think Together is really good at is the development portion. So you get, with this position, we're looking to hire right now, and you'll get about a week to a week and a half of full day trainings before you even get to the classroom setting. And once you get into the classroom setting, you will have a site supervisor on your site that's constantly coaching you and developing you. So the development will be there. So we're looking initially just for that personality passion fit. So if you have that, you like working with kids, I would definitely encourage you to consider this position.
So for the program leader role, we need availability. There's a couple of different, there's a program leader, there's a sub-program leader. So we'll go over the program leader first. So our program leader, we're going to be at elementary and middle school levels. We need availability between 1 p.m. and 6 p.m., 5 days a week. So, you're going to work anywhere from 15 to 20 hours per week, and that position is compensated at $13 an hour. Now, let's say you're not available 5 days a week and you decide to take another course or something else comes up, we have a substitute program leader. We need people who can help students in after school setting at 3, 4, 5 days a week. If you don't want to be placed at that one site because your schedule's a little different, we can accommodate that. And we need people who support our program on that level also. And also it pays the same hourly wage.
And then we say 1 to 6, that's an umbrella time. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll be working 5 days a week from 1 to 6. We partner with the school days, so our programs start as soon as the school bell rings. The students will check in with Think Together. So the program leaders usually report to site about 20 minutes prior to the bell ringing. So we say 1 just to account for that minimum day, but your start time is really going to depend on the bell schedule of that particular school, and all our programs close at 6.
So I see a lot of messages coming through the message bar on the bottom. So I know we'll be having a Q&A at the end, and we'll make sure we can address all those for everybody. So as we move up the ladder, so we have our site coordinators, and this is the big position that Rupa and I talked about that we are interviewing for today. And we're looking for someone who essentially manages all aspects of the program. You're managing those program leader positions we just talked about. You liaison with the school day. We're talking with principals, teachers, janitors, PTSA, parents. You are the face of the program. We're looking for someone for this position that can be that guiding force to push a team forward and change the odds for kids at that supervising level. You're not in the classroom. You're there to coach and help support those program leaders so they can be that next site coordinator. Site coordinator, like I said, face of the program. Rupa and I have both been site coordinators. It is such a rewarding position because you're associated with the program. They're like, if I went to ABC Elementary, oh, that's Mr. Doug's program. All that is, and Mr. Doug he's the funnest. He does all the stuff for the kids, and like that it's so rewarding. But it's a really great position, kind of an entry level supervising, And it's the first stepping stone to really growing with the organization. And from there, you can branch out.
Like, I want to say, yeah, about 90. I always have some.
You want to talk about the site coordinator, I know you do.
So I just want to throw out that 90% of coordinators do start off as program leaders. So like I said, there's always growth opportunities to move up in the organization. One of the big requirements of this is, unlike the program leader position, you do have to have some experience working with youth, preferably in an after-school setting, but just working with youth in general. And you have to have some type of management experience. And if you don't, you should be able to connect past experiences with how you would potentially manage a staff. So like Doug mentioned, and I mentioned before, we are actively hiring. We're in need of one more site coordinator that we're interviewing for today. You can potentially go to round 1 today, round 2 tomorrow with a elementary school principal in Palm Springs. But like I mentioned, this position is currently the one that we're actively recruiting for is the one site coordinator in Palm Springs. I know Cal State San Bernardino is a little bit far from that, but if you live close to the area, or if you're a graduating senior and you're open to relocating, Doug and I definitely want to meet with you today. So he's going to share the link in the chat box if he hasn't done so already.
Did.
Because it's such a quick turnaround time for us, if you don't have time to apply, we'll share an email at the end. Just shoot me an email and then we'll get you scheduled for a quick interview with Doug and I. And it'll be a very informal interview. We won't go into too much detail, so nothing to be nervous about. It'll be a very fun, flowing conversation about the position. And you do have to have your bachelor's for this.
Well, we'll go into that into the next slide. So for this position, you must have your bachelor's. If you're graduating and it's happening in the next 2 weeks or next week, whatever it may be, that is an exception we'll allow. Or if you maybe worked with our organization before and you have at least a year's experience, that also will work in lieu of that bachelor's. This position is full-time. It's Monday through Friday, which is 38 hours. And we're compensating this role at $17 per hour. We do provide benefits, retirement, vision, dental, medical. We also have some supplemental insurances that you're able to elect if that's what you choose to do. But like I said, this is the first big step in making a change on a bigger scale. I've seen site coordinators who come up who do org-wide trainings on best practice they do at their site. We empower our team to showcase the best so we all can be the best. And that's got to be the best part about the organization, at least I think so.
And then, so the program leaders, there's going to be 4 program leaders at each school site that works with about 20 to 25 students. And each school site will have a site coordinator that will oversee the 4 program leaders. So think of it like a principal of the after school program. You would be in charge of developing your staff and being that supervisor manager role so that you're equipping your team with the correct tools that they need to be able to be successful when they deliver their high quality programming in the classroom.
So this kind of goes a little further up our hierarchy when we're talking about the positions that the organization offers. So we have a quality assurance coach, which we don't have any open positions now. We're just kind of giving you guys some information about the organization. But in this role, you're pretty much in charge of anywhere from 7 to 10 site coordinators in like a school district. So in San Bernardino, like we have 2 site coordinators for the Rialto School District because it's pretty large. So it's someone who helps ensure that there's high quality after school programs being ran. They do a lot of liaisoning with the school district to ensure that, we're meeting all our grant requirements. Administrators of the school are happy and we're making sure there's a good culture and everybody's kind of collaborating together. With this role, it's mandatory you have a bachelor's. You have to at least have 2 years of some type of staff development leadership experience. Growth opportunities. So all positions you can find are posted online on thinktogether.org/careers. So today we really spotlighted Palm Springs as our really big focus right now. We have that site coordinator role, once again, that Rupa and I are interviewing for today. So if you click on that link that we put inside the chat bar, it's going to take you right to it. You can apply with your phone. But once let's say you join our team, you become a program leader, we have a ton of positions available. So as you come with the organization, you start learning the culture, you get your feet wet, you can become a receptionist, you become a human resources generalist, you can work on our IT team, you can be on our data management team, we have curriculum writing, there's so many, we have our marketing team, there's so many different avenues that you can pursue with the organization. And the best part is it all comes back to supporting kids. And that's what we're passionate about. And that's what we're looking for. And, you know, I'm just super excited about the opportunity that speaking with at least one or two of you guys today, because we're super passionate about wanting to meet you, and hopefully you guys will love what we said about the organization today.
And then one thing to mention, since we are an organization, a few of our management positions do have a bachelor's requirement, like the site coordinator. The great thing about the organization is, let's say you come in as a program leader. If you're in that role for a year with us, really getting to know the ins and outs of program and how we run things, then after that year mark, you'll be eligible to apply for a site coordinator role without the bachelor's, because the 1 year of experience will be in lieu of that. So something to consider. All right, so let's talk about our hiring process. So step one, like any open position, you would have to apply. Doug should be sharing those links onto the chat bar. If you are interested, go ahead and complete an application. Once you complete an application and we receive it, someone from our staffing team will be contacting you to do an initial phone screen. The initial phone screen is just to make sure that you meet the basic requirements of the position, and they'll be available to answer any specific questions that you might have regarding the role. Once we figure that you're a mutual fit, they'll get you scheduled to, well, currently we're doing Zoom interviews. So once we decide we want to move you forward, we'll get you scheduled for a Zoom interview. Once you pass the Zoom interview, each district has a different requirement. So depending on the school district that you're applying for, either you'll have to show proof of a certain amount of units, or if you don't have the units, you can come in and take a pre-employment assessment with us. That'll be in lieu of the units. So once you pass the interview, come in to complete the pre-employment assessment if that's something that you have to do, and we come to a mutual understanding that you're a good fit for the organization, we will provide you a potential offer. After the offer, we do our own live scanning. We do them in-house, so that's not something that you need to go out and pay for or do anything. We'll do that in-house, and we cover the cost for that. Once your background check comes in and we make sure that you have nothing major on your record and you provide all the background documents that we need, we will get you scheduled for new hire orientation, which is the paid training time where we get you ready to be successful in your new role. Doug, anything you want to add with the hiring process?
With everything that's going on, hence today we're doing this virtually, we have made sure we are taking the correct, just as a reassurance for you guys. We come in, all of our processes are set up, are still like under the CDC like guidelines of how we do like our background checks and any assessment taking. So just to be safe, because we were concerned about your safety and ours. And so it's definitely a, just want to kind of give that heads up so we are prepared. Like we'll set up appointments and everything so you'll know what's going on, but I just wanted to share that because I think it's important to address.
Perfect. And then I do want to mention our amazing referral bonus program. I always say that our best recruiters are our current staff. They're the ones that work directly with youth and are out in the field and know exactly what it takes to be successful in these roles. So we always encourage our staff to refer their friends and their families if they feel like they'd be a good fit for the organization. And for everyone you refer to us and we hire on, you do get $50 added onto your next paycheck. And you'll get that as soon as your referral stays on with us for 90 days. The only thing you want to let them know is when they apply, make sure they mention your name so that we can update that in our system. And also with that initial phone screen with our staffing team, have them mention your name and say that they were referred by a current employee of ours, so we can ensure that you get paid as soon as your buddy hits their 90 days with us. Doug, anything?
No, I'm just seeing all these great questions coming in, so I'm really excited to answer them.
I am too, and I can't see the chat box, so I'm curious to see what they are.
So once again, I put a couple links into the chat bar. Those are for the specific positions we talked about today. But if you'd like to see the full gambit of what we're offering and who you can talk to, thinktogether.org/careers. And then we have, if you'd like to contact us via email, it's thinkcareers@thinktogether.org. And so that actually will go straight to Rupa, and then it'll go straight to me, and then we'll set some things up. So it's really exciting, and yeah, I think we're ready to hear any questions and field those for you guys.
Great. Thank you so much, Rupa and Douglas, for great information and for sharing that today. We'll go ahead and start the Q&A portion. So feel free to chat, to type in the chat box anytime, and we'll go ahead and ask those. So some that came in, of course, right off the top of the bat, is any virtual opportunities, anything we can do online during the COVID pandemic.
I think, do you want to field it, Rupa?
So currently we are running distant learning. All our staff have gone through trainings to be able to provide our programs virtually. So depending on the school district partnerships, some of them have actually started to implement summer learning programs. Come fall, it really depends on the district. So we partner very closely with the school district. So we follow their lead. So if they're doing in-person classes, then we'll do in-person after school programs. If they're doing virtual classes, then we'll do virtual programs. So we really follow the lead of the school districts and make sure that we're also continuing to follow CDC guidelines.
Great, thank you. Is there a position in San Bernardino currently for site coordinator that you may be interviewing for today?
Not today. We do have it open. So I know it just says Think Together, Doug, but I'm also the regional recruiter for the San Bernardino region. We have an open position that we're currently accepting applications for. I've been working with our staffing coordinator on it. It's going to be in Redlands. It's going to be at a brand new school that we're kind of moving into. So if that's something you're interested in, I would highly recommend that you go to the website. You can email Rupa at the Think Careers, and we'll get you that direct link so that we know we met you here today, and say, hey, I want to apply for that position, and then we can talk more, and I can speak with our staffing coordinator. I don't think we're interviewing today, but I know it's going to be happening here within the next week and a half. We'd love to see your application.
Great, thank you. Do you have any available positions for teaching ESL to adults?
Not to adults. We do have certain schools that are dual immersion, so they do their lesson plans and their curriculum in both English and Spanish. So in that case, we do look for bilingual candidates that can provide our lesson plans and curriculum in both languages, but nothing for adults as of yet.
And we do have, if you're looking Palm Springs, I know we do have a one school that's a dual immersion site. As a program leader, we'll be looking for individuals to apply for that role. So if that's something you're interested in and you're passionate about, I'd love for you to use that link and have the chance to speak with you.
Great. Are there internship opportunities available? And if so, is there a separate link to apply?
Yes and no. So we do have internship opportunities going on where they support staffing with making phone calls, doing those initial phone screens, and we cater those internship opportunities based on what you want to get out of them. So let's say there's someone that wants to go into the recruitment talent acquisition world, then we would create that internship around their goals and where they want to see their future going. Currently, because we are virtual, we don't have the technology that we can provide in order for them to be able to work virtually, because everything was moving so fast. We're still trying to get technology out to our current staff. So while we're in this remote world, we don't have internship opportunities just because we won't be able to provide you the technology you need to be able to support in the capacity that we need to. But as soon as we can, you can definitely email me. If you are interested, email me at careers@thinktogether.org, and I'll forward you over to the regional manager of volunteers, who would be the one that oversees the internships directly.
And her name is Tammy, and she's awesome too. So.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a question about cover letters. Is it need program leader?
I mean, I love a good cover letter, but if you know, your resume should be just fine. We're pretty good about digging deep off the initial surface of about your experiences. So if you'd like to add it, I mean, I know I review them every time. It tells me quite a bit about the candidate. It's also, I think it's just a pro thing to do. Very professional look for you, and the best practice when applying for roles.
Definitely, definitely. I'd like to go ahead and have a question to piggyback on that. What do you look for in a candidate to stand out?
You gonna go, Doug, or you want me to go?
Oh, you'll talk all day. You know, long story short, we've always talked about, you know, bank tellers are like the best candidates, and this, not jokingly, but it's that customer service part. You got to know that you're going to work with. You might have to partner with a teacher in a classroom. You have the students after school. You have the parents of the students, and you have a principal, and so there's all these different people. So it's all about that customer, you know, customer relations. It's like, yeah, I'm here to listen. I'm an active listener. Like, those are important skills because we want someone who can listen, understand where someone else is coming from, and be able to support them. So that's one thing. Having a passion working for kids. And so I mean, I don't expect your intro to your resume to say I'm passionate about working with kids for this job, but like, maybe make sure you can speak to it. Like, why do you want to do this? Because I wanted to be a teacher, or I wanted to be a junior firefighter instructor, you know, mentor. I don't know. I mean, but whatever it may be, that's what I'm looking for. And I've hired individuals like, I love coaching. If you'd like to coach, middle school is awesome because we have tons of cool sports programs. But like, I want to coach, I want to mentor, I want to, you know, push someone up and elevate them to that next level. That's what I kind of look for. And if, you know, you on your phone interview, if you're kind of like, well, I don't know, like, we're going to dig it out of you, and we're going to we'll make sure we find that awesomeness that we hold. Rupa, go for it.
For me, it's the personality fit. I will take someone right out of high school with absolutely no work experience, but has that passion for working with kids and an engaging personality. We're a very structured academic program. So basically, we're providing 3 more hours of learning after school. So I'm looking for someone that can be in front of 20 students who have just gone through school all day and now are coming into another structured environment and keep them engaged. A lot of our funding is based on attendance. So we're looking for site coordinators and program leaders that have that connection with students, where the students want to continue coming every single day and are excited about the program. With some of the management roles, it's the collaboration piece. We work very closely in partnership with the school day administration and the school day staff. So we're not an after school program that's working in silo. It's not, we're the school day and this is the after school program. We're looking for someone that's able to collaborate with the admin at the school to kind of engulf themselves in the school's culture and make us an intentional extension of their school day, and not, hey, the kids are going to school and then when they get out, they're going to this other after school program. So, and we always say the program leader is a great stepping stone. We don't want anyone to make the program leader their future career goals, because that's not what that position is intended for. That position is intended to get your feet wet. So we're looking for people that want to continue to grow within a organization that has a mission that you're passionate about. Because if you look at people that are at our director levels, like Doug mentioned, they started off as program leaders. They went up to site coordinator, then the quality assurance coach. So there's always opportunities for growth, and we're looking for individuals that have that mindset as well. Great question.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. We have a student that asked if you had any positions for tutoring. They have some experience in bilingual tutoring, and interested to see if there's any specific position for that they'd be a match for.
Well, tutoring there's no one-on-one tutoring. So with our program leader roles, just to circle back, you have a class of 20 to 25 students. If you're interested in a one-on-one tutoring, we don't have any jobs. We can provide you an internship, which is unpaid, if that's what you're looking to get out of it. But I think with tutoring is, if you're a good tutor, you can teach that skill set to a student, and those students can help other students. And so being that program leader, you can share that skill set, and so it can hopefully enrich someone else's life and help them, help them help somebody else.
Yeah, and according to grant standards, we have different components that we need to provide in the after-school program, and one of them is homework support. So the kids do get about 40 to 45 minutes of an environment where they're concentrating on their homework. So that's when the program leader is walking around the classroom, supporting students that might need that extra support. But like Doug mentioned, it's not going to be one-on-one, but there will be times where you'll be supporting them with homework and extracurricular academic activities.
Great, great. How long does the hiring process take?
I mean, if you apply, we're still working out some things, but usually it's gonna take about a week. I mean, at one point we were doing it in one day, where you would apply, come in, do an assessment interview, offer, background check, and then you show up 3 days later for your new hire orientation. It was amazing. We called them one-stop shops. But now that we have to be a little more careful about kind of things that are going on and the distancing, you're looking about a week and a half. Right now we are, for San Bernardino, we are gearing up for our fall hiring, which means we're doing all our hiring in June and July for our early August start dates. And once again, Palm Springs is the big focus. So if you're out using that satellite campus in the desert, please apply. We would love to speak with you. Also with our San Bernardino sites. And we also have sites in Riverside, LA County. Like I said, we're all over the place, and we'll be able to direct you in the right direction.
Great, great. Thank you. We have a candidate here that actually applied about a year ago, but at the time they had an internship that was kind of interfering with their ability to work. How long are you able to keep a candidate on record for new consideration, or should they apply again?
Email us. Email us at Think Careers, and then we'll let us know which position you're interested in, and we'll look up your old application and make sure we add it to the requisition that you're interested in applying.
Great, great. We have another candidate here that applied to an HR generalist position for the Palm Springs location. We're wondering if there was a specific contact maybe that we can connect them with to follow up on their application.
That is me. I am screening those candidates now. It's a very important, so I'm just, in a nutshell, I'm going to touch base on this role. This is going to be the face of the region when it comes to human resources. This position will report into a human resources business partner that is in our Riverside region. But we're also looking for that head of HR for Palm Springs to oversee a small team, plus collaborate with the general manager every day, and tons of employee relation and knowledge of like ADP, payroll, to push their team forward. So if that person, just the email that Rupa had up there, Think Together Careers, what is that? Think Together Careers at thinktogether.org.
Yes. Please
shoot her a quick email, and I'll be more than happy to follow up with you and talk more about your application and to see kind of where we're at with that. I do have a handful of interviews set up this week, but it's going to be pretty much have 2 sets of first round interviews to present about 6 candidates to my my HR director.
Great, great. Thank you. A question just come in. Is there any position for religious worker or spiritual guidance?
So the cool thing with the site coordinator and the program leader position is curriculum is already provided for you. So Think Together creates all those. There's always the option of putting your own spin on it. But when we're talking about religion, we have to be mindful of what the school requirements are and what we can and can't teach in the after school program. So that would be in collaboration with your school day admin. I'm Indian, and there's a big Indian holiday. So when I was a site coordinator, we did this fun activity kind of promoting the holiday and teaching the kids about it. So it depends on what you're teaching and how you're teaching it, but that's something that you would have to connect with your supervisor and your school day admin to ensure that that's something that still meets, you know, the requirements and the goals of the school.